a little after 20 past 7 on May the 30th today, end of May nearly, and welcome to the allotment. I haven't recorded a video for a few weeks, mostly because we've been having problems with our broadband at home, which has meant anything too technical or too hungry on bandwidth just doesn't work. So anything I would have recorded probably would never have got uploaded until now. However, they fixed that yesterday, day before, so hopefully this will get uploaded. So I thought what I would do is come down, show you around, because you may already be able to gather it looks probably quite a bit different since I last did that. So let's go for a wander. First stop are the peas. If you've seen my previous videos, you'll know that we had quite a bit of trouble with pea weevil. It basically doesn't normally do anything to the plant. It just notches the leaves and they carry on growing without any serious effect. However, these, whether it's the pea weevil or something else, I don't know, but as you can see, given the height that we're trying to get on the netting here, they're not even halfway up yet. There's some flowers and some small pea pods already, as you can probably see, a couple of pea pods there, not really doing anything yet, but they're not very impressive, so I'm not quite sure what's happened there, whether it's just this bit of soil's not very good, or it's the pea weevil, or it's something else. So any ideas on a postcard or in the comments, that would be fantastic. But yeah, we're not quite sure what's happening there, so I don't think the pea crop is going to be very good this year. Garlic, this is nearly ready to come out. You can probably see it starting to turn yellow and die back. I hoiked one out that's on the ground there last weekend, and yet they're all ready to come out. So if I get time today, I'm going to take them out. But I want to do a couple of other things which are probably slightly more important, so I'll come on to those in a moment and talk about them. This is my part one of my carrot experiment, growing the carrots in bits of drain pipe, as you can see. Hopefully what will happen is they'll grow straighter and better than the ones that I'll show you in a minute, which are on another bit of the plot. I've thinned these out once, as you can see. Probably they want thinning out again, but they seem to be doing well. Two reasons for this: one, as I say, try and grow better carrots. Second one is, as they're 10 inches or so off the ground, hopefully the carrot root fly won't find them, because he's a bit of a low flying pest, a bit like a kind of fast jet, and he never gets more than a few inches off the ground. So if you grow them high enough, then he normally doesn't find them. He, she, I don't know whether it's a he or a she, but there you go. What have we got over here? Sweet peas. These need the tops pinching out of them now. As you can see, for some reason half the row hasn't grown. This half doesn't seem to be doing too badly. It's been an odd season like that. Bits have grown in some places but not others, so I'm not quite sure why that is this year. Lettuce, again, if you look, you can kind of see gaps in the row, again, don't know why. And radish, the radish I think went too early, to be honest. I need to kind of give this a tidy up and probably sow some more. I'm having a lot of problems this year with weeds, particularly some of the perennial weeds like thistles and dandelions, and again, just seems to be a bad year for that sort of a weed. Normally it's things like some of the sort of annual weeds, which aren't normally too much of a problem to deal with. So another job, maybe not for today. As you can see on the end there and over there, in fact, let's walk round. Those are my early potatoes, and in fact are probably not far off ready to be dug in some instances. They've already had some flowers. You can probably see there's, in fact if I can lean over, there's flowers on them already. These seem to be doing slightly better, I don't know why. because in theory this whole plot's had exactly the same treatment. They're broken because I've got, there would be one continuous or two continuous rows, but because I had kale and purple sprouting broccoli here, I've had to split the potatoes into two halves this year. This is what I'm going to try and do today. I want to get all of this out and dig this bit of the bed over, because I've got some leek plants coming and everything is so full I've not really got anywhere sensible to put them. The plan was, when this goes over, to pull it out. I've just been not really had the time, been too busy doing other things to this point, but today's job is to try and do that, or job number one of today, depending on how long it takes. Before I look at the other bits, let's have a look. Turnips, what's happening to the turnips again? You can see there's all these thistles just appearing everywhere, and they're looking quite good. Beetroot, so they're doing quite well. Most of these were all sown under plastic, you'll probably remember. Lots of cloches, doing quite well. I'm pretty pleased with the beetroot. That's the best crop I've had so far. Let's pull a weed out, it's annoying me. So yeah, lots of this. I don't quite know what this is, but it's not a thistle or a dandelion, but we get loads of it growing, so I'll get rid of that. Pick that up in a minute. Carrots, this is the other bit of the carrot experiment, part 2. So we'll see what happens there. I'm hoping that actually I'll get a great big crop of carrots and there won't be any difference, but I suspect these will either get nobbled by the root fly, or because this ground is much stonier, they'll all be weird and wonderful shapes. We'll see. Again, you've got this gap. I don't know what it is. I don't think my sowing of seeds is that bad, but it seems on a lot of the rows. Again, there's another one here, which is the next crop of purple sprouting broccoli. And what I'm doing now is, as I thin, because that row needs a bit of thin out, it's a bit too crowded, is I will move some plants down to the ends of the row, just to fill up those gaps. But it's weird. I don't know why. Under here I've got some Brussel Sprout plants. Netting's really to keep the pigeons off, although I don't seem to have any problems with pigeons so far this year, touch wood, and they don't seem to have gone for the purple sprouting yet, but I guess there's still time, we'll see. Celeriac, those are plants that came last week and went in last weekend. There is supposed to be a gap because I didn't have that many plants, and I didn't space them out very evenly, but there you go. And then this is rainbow chard, which, as you can see, is coming along quite nicely now. In fact, I'm tempted to pick a little bit of that this weekend to go with tea tonight. There's a few leaves on there that are definitely big enough, so I think we might be doing that. Fruit, nothing on the plum tree, but then again, probably wasn't expecting anything, as that only went in a couple of months ago, so it's not been there very long. Loads of apples. We had great apple blossom this year. I'm probably going to need to weed a few of those out because there's just too many on. You've got, like, what have we got there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 that I can see. Really 3 is probably enough. Even on that one where there's 5, probably going to need to do something and maybe just remove that to get them down to sort of 2 or 3. Otherwise what will happen is they'll grow and they'll push one another off, and then they'll either be bruised or misshapen, or we won't have any. So that's the plan, but I'll let them get a little bit bigger first, because some of them look like they don't going to do anything anyway, which will be fine, but we might need just to get in there with a fruit knife and just take some out. And then currants, raspberries, all looking very good. Rhubarb's looking fantastic. We've had a lot of rhubarb this year so far, so that's going to continue. So we'll probably again pick some of that this weekend. This is doing really well. These are a mixture of calabraise, cabbage and cauliflowers, and they're doing great. They've been in a while. They were under plastic, under my big cloche for a while. I've now replaced the cloche with this netting, This is actually scaffold netting, so it's the sort of netting they put up around scaffold on the side of a building, partly to kind of stop things falling off the scaffold into the street, but also provide people working on it with a bit of protection. Garden centres tend to sell it now as netting to keep pests off, so I'm trying to keep the cabbage white butterfly off, obviously, and the pigeons as well, and it seems to be doing quite well. I think we've only lost so far one plant out of 16 in there. There's another one that doesn't look too healthy, it's not really doing anything, so we might lose that one as well, but I'm pleased with those. 14 out of 16, it's not a bad result. And then whether you can see, let me see if I can get one in the middle of the frame. It's proving a bit difficult with this netting actually, but anyway, take my word for it that, let's go down here, there's one look. These are Cavolo Nero, so black kale. They've only been in a couple of weeks, but they all seem to have taken, so I'm hoping that we'll have some of that later on in the year, or even early into next year. As you can see, quite a lot of annual weeds coming through here, and that's despite having given this patch quite a good weeding fairly recently as well. Finally, I think he said, no, not finally. Runner beans, poles are up. Beans went in as seeds last week. Can't see any sign yet, but in a week's not that much time. I didn't basically have enough room at home to grow them as in pots or trays, so they've gone straight in. Having said that, now I probably have got enough room, so I might put the remaining seed out in some trays. Broad beans, again, as you can see, loads and loads of thistles. I don't know why. I'm going to try and keep on top of them so that they don't set seed and we have exactly the same problem next year, but yeah, real nuisance. Broad beans, as I say, and we're actually getting some beans now. We had some last weekend, nice and sweet and tender and young. It looks like they'll start cropping now, and probably get about a meal a week out of them, I would have thought, for the next few weeks at least. I had to find a home for my cloche because obviously I don't really need that now. It's weather's warmed up considerably and the nights aren't as cold as they had been. Have a look at the thermometer in a minute and see what that's been like. And then what have we got for a mixture of things in this bed? Basically, you can probably see what there we've got some sweet corn, and behind it some sunflowers. So I've got a row of sunflowers which don't seem to be doing too well. There's only about 3 that I can see that have come through, but there's still time. Sweet corn, as I say, are grown in a block, and they're mostly starting to germinate now. And then where the white marker posts are, and under these half lemonade bottles should be, let's take this one off and see, doesn't look like there is growing there, but this is where I've put the courgettes in, but again they don't seem to be doing very well at all. Fickle plants that they are. I've actually put some separate ones in pots at home to bring them on, because I thought that might happen. The idea basically is the courgettes will grow under the sweet corn, which will keep the squirrels from getting to the sweet corn, because when courgette plants grow, they grow quite prickly, so that should keep the squirrels off. And then just before we end, let's have a quick look at the thermometer. You probably can't see that, but temperatures are staying above freezing, so what's that, 2 degrees minimum and probably 21.5, nearly 22 maximum, so that's still quite a range, but at least we're not getting back down below 0, which we had been previously. So hope that's caught you up on where we are on the plot. With a bit of luck, broadband permitting, we'll get this uploaded today. If not, I'll get it uploaded as soon as possible. Oh, and yeah, rows of onions and shallots there, as you can see, doing quite well amongst the weeds. Hope wherever you are, you're having a good weekend, and I'll speak to you soon. Take care now. Bye bye.